Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Battleground and Double or Nothing AEW review show. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. What an amazing night to, like I said, uh, conclude a phenomenal event from both events. They went head to head on Night of Champions weekend. Night of Champions was last night, and tonight was NXT Battleground and Double or Nothing Premium Live event. What a premium live event it was. But we're gonna kick things off right quick. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribers care. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. Tonight, we said Night of Champions weekend kicked off with Night of Champions yesterday, and it concluded with Battleground and NXT going head to head. We're gonna get to the matches. We're gonna start with NXT. NXT had Battleground. And see some of these phenomenal matches. The NXT title was on line. Braun Breaker defending against Carmelo Hayes. I mean, the NXT champion. Braun Breaker was the challenger, and Carmelo Hayes was the champion. My apologies right there. A lot of matches right here, but like I said, a lot of predictions that I made on predicted outcome for Battleground earlier came true. We're gonna start with this. Wes Lee, the North American champion, he went into a grueling match himself. Wes Lee, we thought he was gonna really have a eventful night. I told you he was gonna kick off the show, and he did. I said, "Wow, Wes Lee kicking off the show." Wes Lee, Wes Lee was impressive tonight. Wes Lee took it to the level with Dragon Lee, and a lot of folks even that's not the right one. Wes Lee, I meant to say. Wes Lee went against Dragon Lee and yeah, no, that's not the one. Wes Lee went against Joe Gacy and what's his name? Wes Lee won his match over Joe Gacy and got that dude's name. Tyler Bate. Yes, Tyler Bate and Wes Lee. Wes Lee and Tyler Bate went to pieces, but Wes Lee got the win and he overcame that triple threat match that I said earlier. But speaking of that, it was another match. Norm Dar took on Dragon Lee. Meant to say, Norm Dar took on Dragon Lee in a instant match that many people saw for the Heritage Cup. The match was simple, a round robin tournament. Who had the most rounds? Sort of like an Iron Man match, under 2 minutes, under 3 minutes, whatever you want to call it. Well, Norm Dar and Dragon Lee tried to put in the win. Dragon Lee was close, but Dragon Lee had got distracted, and I mean Dragon Lee got distracted by Norm Dar's newest posse. I don't know who this posse is. Um, what's her name? Came out there. Last Legend, looking more like Megan Thee Stallion, and somebody else. Norm Dar will have to explain who is this new posse, who he's been rolling with, because I mean nobody didn't see that coming. Norm Dar got the win. Norm Dar with his new posse. I don't know who they are, but they came out and told you. What's her name? Last Legend and this other woman came out there to help Norm Dar retain his North American title. And Norm Dar got the win over Dragon Lee. And I compared the matchup, it was really compared to Norm Dar got a new look. I don't know what he's going for, but we have to wait and see. But Norm Dar still the Heritage Champion. We'll see what Norm Dar gonna do going forward with that. Speaking of that, Aaron Dragunov, he was looking forward for his match against Doubt Dijak in a last man standing match. And it was a last man standing match. Dijak and Dragunov took it to the limit. Dragunov took it to the limit to Dijak, and Dijak got smashed on the table. I think Dijak gonna have to really figure out what his next move is. I think they just put him out there just to make him lose like that. Norm Ilya Dragunov get the win over Dijak in an impressive battle. We'll see what's going to happen with him. He had, but one thing about Ilya Dragunov, he had red in his eyes, and you know what that means, red in his eyes. You know what that means. Speaking of that, WWE NXT saying the next pay per view will be the Great American Bash. So I'm thinking they're trying to move away from their specials on USA and put it on Peacock, which that makes sense. It makes sense. And NXT is doing the same. Like they're going to places like with Impact Wrestling has been when it was bigger 10 years ago, or like Ring of Honor. Real smart by NXT doing that. So hey, good for them. But speaking of that, um, Gallus was in the ring. Gallus defending their tag team titles against the Creed brothers. I thought the Creed brothers was gonna win. This one match that I didn't get right. The Creed brothers tried their mighty, their damnness to defeat Gallus. Gallus picks up the win over the Creed brothers. I think expect this rivalry to continue on. The Creed brothers did put all their efforts, but it wasn't enough. Creed brothers lost to Gallus at the end of the night. So Gallus continued on their reign as NXT Tag Team Champions. I really thought the Creed brothers were going to take it home, but they really didn't take it home. So hey, it is what it is. Speaking of that, the tournament finals, the crown new NXT Women's Champion. We found out that Tiffany Stratton is the new Women's Champion, as I predicted. Tiffany Stratton is the new woman head of the NXT Women's Division as its champion. Tiffany Stratton is granted the championship. The referee pointed at her, giving her the title, and now Tiffany Stratton is the new Women's Champion. We'll talk about a little bit later what happened to AEW, a return that many people didn't see coming, but Tiffany Stratton, now your new NXT Women's Champion. So a lot of championship changed hands. Tiffany Stratton wins the NXT Championship. But on the other side of AEW, we'll talk about what had happened closer a little bit later on in the show. Well, it was the main event. Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker coming in with a new look, a new attitude. I told you that Braun acting more like his uncle and his father, with the aggression streak of his uncle and the mean streak of his dad. Since we heard the dad got a mean streak, he calling folks, you know what? Well, he was got the challenge that to take the championship back that he wants. Carmelo Hayes coming into his hometown of Boston, wearing him. Carmelo Hayes, now the NXT champion, came out there, strutting to the ring, but it wasn't gonna be easy. Braun Breaker did so. What he did tonight, he took it to Carmelo, and the match was set. Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes, who was going to leave as the NXT champion. And like I said, this match right here told the story. Braun Breaker being dominated early on in the match, taken to Carmelo, being down Carmelo. Carmelo really, we thought didn't have a chance, but Carmelo found the way, found a measure of a way to get back up in it. Carmelo hit the elbow, and then Carmelo leaped up and tried to do a spear. Braun speared him, and Carmelo kicked out. Once Carmelo kicked out, Carmelo reached down deep, found it in himself to try to do what he needed to do to defeat Braun Breaker, and he did with that lead drop, that springboard lead drop. Carmelo Hayes retains his NXT championship. Hard fought battle for Carmelo Hayes. He continues on. We don't know if Braun Breaker, what's next for him. We don't know what's next for Carmelo Hayes. Only time will tell for Carmelo. But this match right here was that Carmelo Hayes still the NXT champion. So we're looking forward to Tuesday to see what's next after the fallout for Battleground. This is the Pro Wrestling Show review for Battleground, NXT Battleground, and AEW Double or Nothing. So, like I said, Carmelo Hayes still your NXT champion, as well as Noam Dar, still the Heritage Cup champion. And like I said, we're getting a lot going on. Tiffany Stratton, your new women's champion of NXT. What's going to bring for her winning the championship going forward? But we'll have to wait and see. So that was the NXT Battleground review. we're moving forward to the AEW review right now with Double or Nothing. And Double or Nothing was that it was Double or Nothing. The matches continue, like I said, started with Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy winning that Battle Royal. I told you he was going to take on all challengers, all comers. Orange Cassidy did so. Orange Cassidy went through everybody on the heap of AEW, and he did it. He did it his way. Orange Cassidy winning the Battle Royal for his international championship. Like I said, we was gonna do. But speaking of that, a shocker. Chris Stanliner. Chris Stanliner did the unthinkable. She's the new TBS champion after defeating Jade Cargill. And I think Sam Monster was the one that reported that he predicted that Chris Stanliner was gonna come back and win it, and she did. She did all right. She took it to another level. Now Jay is defeated by Chris Stanline, which I really thought they was gonna do that, and that's what happened. Chris Stanline is your new AEW TBS Women's Champion. We'll see her this Wednesday on TBS to see what's gonna be ahead for her coming up. Also, too, a lot going on. Let's see more. Chris Jericho lost his match to Adam Cole in an impressive match. Jericho looking all confused. I think Jericho had to put Adam Cole over, make Adam Cole a little strong, and that's what he did tonight. Jericho doing the impossible. Adam Cole, I meant to say, doing the impossible, taking down Chris Jericho. I think Chris Jericho finally need to probably to get back to the announcers booth and figure out what's next for Jericho, because Jericho going down like a bad habit. Down. And, Chris Jericho went down tonight in defeat from the Baby Adam Cole. Also, too, the Big Mighty Warlow. Like I predicted, Warlow retained his TNT championship. Warlow defeated Christian against all odds. Warlow still the TNT champion tonight. Well, speaking of Jericho, Jericho didn't let the night go down. Jericho won a match against Cole. But Jericho this week on Dynamite will team up with Paige to take on Adam Cole and Britt Baker in a mixed tag team match. So we'll see that match this Wednesday on Dynamite. Speaking of that, FTR, as I predicted, was going to happen with his name, Mark Briscoe, retain their tag team championships over Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Don't know what's gonna go happen down with Mark Briscoe double crossing and didn't do the job that Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett wanted, and how they're gonna damage their relationship going forward in a way. So we'll see how that's gonna play. Anyway, coming up as well, we have this Toni Storm. I thought she was gonna lose, but Toni Storm regains the AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm. Um, Toni Storm. Hold on a second, folks. Uh-oh. Oh, uh, uh, okay. Sorry about that, folks. We had something going on. Toni Storm. Toni Storm regains the women's championship after not winning it last time. Toni Storm now a two-time AEW Women's Champion. Now, her last reign, she was an intern, but they recognized her as a women's champion. So we see going forward how that's going to go and how that's going to be going forward. But Toni Storm regains the women's championship. As well as this, the Acclaim took on the challenge to take on the House of Black. The Acclaim didn't get the job done. The House of Black remain six tag trios tag team champions. So, hey, you know how that be going forward. That speaking of that, was the main event. The main event for Double or Nothing was a fatal four-way for the World Championship. MJF, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara all competed for the World Championship. And we want to send our congratulations to Sammy and his wife Ty, which I thought was real quick having being married, but they're having a baby. Congratulations to the soon to be parents. We want to wish them luck. And I think MJF tried to use that to his advantage tonight. He even told Sammy, hey, take the pen because you're going to need the money because kids are expensive. Well, I guess Sammy didn't take that memo. Sammy Guevara, did you see right here, Darby Allin taking down Sammy and MJF and Jungle Boy. This is the future of AEW. These four men, but everybody was competing tonight, and what a match it was. A lot of people saying it was the match of the night, but the World Championship, four pillars going for the world title. We kind of knew eventually that it was going to be what's his name? MJF was going to retain, but it proved a good showing. But in the end, I think Sammy Guevara and Ty now the second couple in AEW history to announce they're expecting. First couple was Brandy and Cody with the inspection of Liberty. So Sammy and Ty, I expect a girl coming out this this marriage. So congratulations to the happy couple. Hopefully they have a happy, healthy baby on the way. Um, MJF gets the win sneakily like he does. So MJF does that. I don't know what his next challenge is going to be, but we're looking forward to seeing it. Speaking of that, was the Anarchy Arena match. You see right here, the Blackpool Combat Club retained and won their match over the Elite. Thus, thinking we're gonna see Takesha turn on Kenny Omega with that boot. But Takesha doing what he wanted to do. A lot of people are speculating that Kota Ibushi might be the one to come and try to even things out in that little cage whenever they're gonna have blood and guts. So they're looking forward to see it. You see right here, Takesha hitting that spark fire on Kenny Omega, taking Kenny Omega. I don't know why they did that. Takesha was the one that cost Kenny Omega the match. Turned on with Don Callis in that corner. It's gonna be even more spectacular. That's why Don Callis came out there earlier and we'll see what Don Callis is gonna do. But we'll just have to wait and see on how that's gonna go. All right, we did a review on everything tonight with NXT with Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker. When Carmelo Hayes emerged victorious tonight, Carmelo Hayes did the thing, did it, and defeated Braun Breaker. And the main event was, we saw the shocker, Takesha turning on Kenny Omega and aligning with the Blackpool Combat Club. What's next for the Elite and everybody else? So we just have to wait and see how that's going to go coming forward. So, for me being Kendrick Dick saying so long, thank you for watching the Pro Wrestling Show. We'll see you tomorrow for the Raw Ring Report and more ring reports for NXT, the fallout for the NXT from Battleground on the NXT Ring Report, and the fallout from Double or Nothing on the AEW Ring Report and the SmackDown Ring Report on Friday. So we got a lot going on. This concludes this week's weekend. So for me being Kendrick Dick saying so long, thank you for watching the Pro Wrestling Show.